how, based on your experience, based on how you teach and share with individuals, what's the best way to present to these money partners that have success?
Yeah, well, the first thing is how it's all set up. So our whole goal is, instead of pushing our deals on people,
Yes.
what we're trying to do is use marketing to create curiosity, to get them to come to us, to get them to raise their hand and say, hey, Michael, that real estate thing you're doing, that sounds kind of cool. I'd like to find out more.
There are millions of real estate investors out there, and most are stuck with just a couple of properties. They want financial freedom, but their small portfolio ends up costing them more in time, effort, and money than it's worth. Getting out of the rat race seems harder than ever. This show will help you do more deals, better deals, and bigger deals. Finally, you'll be able to reach your income and lifestyle goals. How? By attracting and leveraging private money partners and their capital. Now get ready to raise more money, because here's your host, Dave Dubeau.
Well, hey, it's Dave, and today I'm going to share a special episode with you. It is a piece of an interview taken from when I was speaking with Michael Ponte for his Savvy Investor Group and his Savvy Investor YouTube channel. We had a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground between the two of us. We got a lot of experience with this stuff. So I thought I'd share this with you today. I hope you enjoy it.
So let's take it to the next level here. So, and again, guys, if you've got questions for Dave, this is a good topic, and I hope you guys are paying attention, because right now, everybody should be focusing on this. From my perspective, I know I am big time. I'm here to raise money, big time, and so, but at the same time, I'm qualifying my people too. But with that being said, there's going to be opportunities. There's opportunities now. There'll be lots of opportunities in the future. So as we talk about trying to find money partners, and hopefully that resonated with everybody, here's my next question to you, Dave. And I think this goes right up your alley big time, because one of the things I find is, you get these money partners, and I am so guilty of this many years ago. My first presentation with my money partner was 3 hours long.
Oh my God.
Painful, right? And so, what you get to that point, you've got somebody that's interested. How do you present to these individuals? What advice do you give these people? Because I'm going to be honest, I get deals sent to me constantly, and I do respond. I'm always looking for deals. I'm happy to partner with people. Okay, so don't bombard my inbox just yet. But the reality is, I'm always looking. But what I want to understand is the individual itself. So I see many investors, they get right into the selling mode and they start to pitch. And I find them doing it always completely wrong. So the question to you is, how, based on your experience, based on how you teach and share with individuals, what's the best way to present to these money partners that have success?
Yeah, well, the first thing is how it's all set up. So our whole goal is, instead of pushing our deals on people,
yes,
what we're trying to do is use marketing to create curiosity, to get them to come to us, to get them to raise their hand and say, hey, Michael, that real estate thing you're doing, that sounds kind of cool. I'd like to find out more. All right. And then we have a meeting with them, and we educate them. So it might be a little bit more of a two-step process. So my whole goal, Michael, is to get a bunch of investors lined up, ready to go, waiting in the wings, so to speak, who've signed off on an expression of interest. So they haven't necessarily cut me a check for $100,000 each, but they've signed off on expressions of interest, which say, hey, Dave, when you've got a deal, I want first dibs. I want first option on that deal. So that makes life a lot easier for us, Michael, because that way, that first presentation is very high level educational, right? So we want to talk about what we're up to with real estate investing, a little bit about our background, our track record, and we want to show the other person what's in it for them to invest with us. But I guess if I had to boil it down, that one of the big tips I've got for people is keep it stupid simple.
Yeah, totally.
Keep it super simple. Whatever you want to say, KISS, right? Because here's the challenge, Michael. Just like you, back in the day doing 3 hours, most of us are real estate nerds. We love this stuff. I mean, why the hell else are people watching this on YouTube? You're into real estate investing. most people would rather watch Netflix, right? And we got to remember our investors are not necessarily like us. Our investors are more like normal people.
Yeah.
So we don't want to overwhelm them with too much data, with too much information, with too much jargon. And a lot of people make this mistake. They like to show off how much they know, how smart they are, but they end up making the other person feel stupid. And when you make your investor feel stupid, guess what? They're not going to invest with you. Right? They're simply not. So keep it super simple. Cover the big, broad strokes, a little bit about yourself, your background, a little bit about the market you're investing in, why it makes sense. Again, big picture. Don't get too much in the minutia.
Yep.
Then talk about the strategy that you're focused on. So for example, Michael, you focus on multifamily properties. So I would talk about the big benefits of multifamily. I would simplify it into maybe 5 to 7 simple steps that I walk people through. Here's how we do a deal. Ding, 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 ding. Always bringing it back into what's in it for them, the big benefits. But then I also do something a little bit counterintuitive, Michael. I recommend that we show people some worst case scenarios, right? Because most people, when they're presenting a deal, it's all sunshine and flowers. Here's our projections. Here's how things are going to work out. Everything's going to be amazing. You're going to get phenomenal return on your investment.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend that you are super conservative with your projections. Good old Tom Peters, under promise, over deliver, right? Yep. Always remember that. Avoid showing off your best deal ever as a case study, because one of two things is going to happen there. Either number one, you're going to freak the other person out because the numbers are too high for their context. The return on investment seems unbelievable, so they're going to think you're a bullshitter. Yeah. Or number two, you set up false expectations, right? Oh, that investor got 40%. I should be getting 40%, right? So under promise, over deliver. And again, just really, really keep it super simple. And then I like to have fun with that. When I'm talking about worst case scenarios, what I like to do is kind of brainstorm what would be some of the biggest obstacles or objections an investor might have about doing a deal with me. And I like to say, okay, what could they possibly come up with? And how can I just hit that head on instead of hoping it doesn't come up? Yeah. So for example, I have fun with this. I say, okay, so one of the frequently asked questions I get is, well, Dave, if I do a deal with you, what happens if we're into the deal 3, 4, 5, 6 months and heaven forbid you get hit by a bus and you're dead?
Yep.
What happens?
Valid question though. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So don't pretend that's not a possibility. It certainly is. So address what you would do to minimize the chance of that happening. And should it happen, what would you do to deal with that in that scenario? So again, Dave, what happens if you're, buying a building in Florida and the next huge hurricane comes in and levels the whole thing? All right. Well, what happens if a tenant thrashes a place? What happens if tenants don't pay the rent? What happens? All these kind of things. What happened if interest rates go up? What happens if the market collapses? All these kind of things. Anticipate that and show people, hey, here's a legitimate concern. Here's what we're going to do to minimize the chance of that happening. And if it does happen, here's what we would do to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. There's my tips.
Love it. At the end of the day, and I think we could probably touch more on this, is understanding what you're actually selling, you real estate experts. It's not the deal.
No.
Right here. Okay. Let's do it at the same time. There we go. Okay.
It's this
right
good
there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's right there.
Somebody way smarter than me said that years ago. It's, at the end of the day, your investors are investing in you. And the property is just the collateral for their investment.
Absolutely. And I think, to Dave's point is you're answering those questions with confidence and you're building confidence with your money partners to want to work with you because they feel confident in you. If they trust you 100%, the deal in a lot of ways is kind of irrelevant because they trust you and they've built confidence in that. Right. And so
and we can be a lot more confident, Michael, if we're raising the money before we need it.
Oh, amen.
This episode is brought to you by MoneyPartnerFormula.com. Our Money Partner Formula service allows you to raise all the private capital you need to do all the deals you want while we handle the hard stuff. We offer reliable and affordable done-for-you marketing services that get you investor meetings booked without all the work. So go ahead and check out the website right now, and then feel free to schedule a call with me, and let's take your portfolio to the next level. Again, that's moneypartnerformula.com. Watch investor meetings pop up in your calendar. We handle the rest.